Hello and welcome to Totally Rovers, a Blackburn Rovers podcast by fans of the Blue and White Halves. On the pod this week, we're going to talk about the Lancashire derby where Blackburn Rovers came to Deepdale against Preston North End. On the pod, there's myself, Luke, and we got Liam. So,
Hello,
hello,
everybody.
Liam. How are you doing?
Doing good, mate. Doing good. Been a good weekend. Watched Rovers on Friday night. Went to watch Clitheroe on the Saturday. Nice little 4-1 win for Clitheroe. I know it's not really Rovers related, but they're flying high at the moment, having some cracking results, and they've got to the furthest they've ever got in the FA Trophy. So they've got a nice, tasty fixture against York City from the National League in the next round. So yeah, enjoying that. But yeah, this isn't about Clitheroe; it's about Rovers. So how are you? And how's things?
I'm good. I mean, Friday night win against North End. You know, started the
It was
weekend
good.
off well.
It was a good watch.
I came, it was good watch, and I came into work on Saturday morning in a good mood on the back end of that win, and I think that set the tone for the weekend.
Yep.
So got plenty of things coming up. Like I've got some packing to do because I'm on the process of moving house. So that's going to be a
Busy
big
bee.
thing at the moment. Real big thing. So anyway, let's get started onto the game against Preston North End. I mean, as we're
Yep.
coming back onto international break, um, we were on the back end of a rather disappointing defeat against Derby County.
We were
Um,
indeed.
with that defeat. And as we got back from international break, I wasn't sure. I was a little bit apprehensive on how we're going to do against North End because Preston North End were in a good form in the championship, in the race mix at playoffs, and they were fourth position in the table, and they had a very good home form. I mean,
Yeah.
Deepdale has become a fortress, hasn't it, this season for Preston North End. So, what was your initial thoughts on the game before the ball was kicked?
Well, my first impression was Preston were flying high. They're playing well. Um, it's going to take a lot to beat them. I thought. I thought if we can go into the game, it's away at their place as well. Our form's been much improved, but we had a bit of a blip against Derby. And with our injury issues as well, I thought if we can come out of this game scraping a draw, I'd be very very happy. That was my initial take. Um, I kind of expected it to be a tough one for us to get anything out of with the injury issues, the fact they're flying high. Um, yeah, it was just one of them. But obviously, I was much more pleasantly surprised than I expected to be.
And with you being the optimist, I'm surprised to hear that from you as well.
I know I'm always the optimist,
That as well. I
but
know.
injury issues and that Preston's form have been so good, and we had a blip against Derby. I just thought if we can get a draw away at Preston, away at Deepdale, I'd take that. I'd take that. But like I say, I was extremely happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with the result as well and how it all ended. I mean, before the game, before the ball was kicked, I would have taken a draw without a
Yeah.
shadow of a doubt. But I looked at team sheet as well. Ishmael made 3 changes.
Yep.
Obviously, the back line was changed with obviously Miller McLaughlin. They're the heart of the back three now. But obviously, the news broke out that Hayden Carter was injured again. So I was like, who's going to be shoehorned in that back line? Who's going to occupy that space? Because when we played Derby, I really wasn't happy with Ryan Edges on that left centre back role. It's like he wasn't that bad, but you could tell that he wasn't comfortable in that position,
Yeah.
playing that position. But he's done really well as a wing back. So I was like, why couldn't you play Pickering and Ribeiro for at time?
That was my
But then I
first
saw the team
impression.
sheet.
That's who they thought
Yeah,
they'd play.
well, we've already spoke about that last week on the last pod last week, didn't we? So,
Yeah.
but then George Pratt was called into the squad. I mean, he's a youngster who's come through our academy. He was recently loaned out to Chorley 2 weeks ago, and then made it into the first
Well, no,
team,
he was
making
on
his
loan
first
actually
start.
from start of season, but we
Yeah,
recalled him
yeah,
2 weeks back
yeah.
because of
That's what we
injury
did. We
issues.
recalled him.
So he
Yeah,
was playing for Chorley 2 weeks ago, and now he's playing
yeah.
first team football in the Championship against Preston. That's a hell of a jump up.
It was hell of a jump. I was intrigued to see how that'll all pan out, but obviously we'll talk about that
It's a
in a
brave move from
moment.
Ishmael and all to make a move
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It is a bold move, very bold move. So I was really intrigued to see. and how that would all pan out. But obviously they weren't. Obviously the midfield had a change as well. Christy Montgomery got his start. I mean, after his
He's
appearances,
deserved
from
that.
coming off the bench, he's deserved that. I think he's earned the stripes. And will he repay the favour for Ishmael like he has done since he got his full debut into the first team? So I was pretty quietly confident that Montgomery could actually do all right in that midfield. And obviously Sandra Trons had come back after being suspended. I mean,
Yep.
he'd be badly missed. I thought we could have done with the leader on the pitch, which really didn't have against Derby until Adam
No.
Forshaw came on. So, and obviously the front line, Ash Shingle Johnson, I mean, changed there. So, but Taylor Gordon Rickman was suspended after getting
Yeah.
booked in the game against Derby. So, obviously, he weren't going to be in action. So, obviously, our away form has been really good as well. I think if the stats are right at the time of recording, we're one of the best teams in the championship with our away form. I think it's only Coventry that matches us for away form at the moment.
Yeah. We after the game against Preston, they were saying our away form is the best in the league, which is crazy. I think like you say, Coventry are matching us, but it's crazy stat that when you consider how we've been down the bottom end of the table and all that lot.
Yeah,
We need to get them home results going our way now, don't we?
Yeah, we need to start picking up points at home. And I think if we are as good at home as we are away, I don't think we're having this conversation that we are right now, like
Exactly.
looking over our shoulders, aiming for survival being the main aim at the moment in the league. So, but all right, we'll get on to the game now. I mean, the first half was largely uneventful. It was a very scrappy, cagey affair within the first 30 minutes.
I'd say first 20 minutes it was rather cagey, a little bit feeling each other out. I felt like we were trying to edge our way into the game. I think they started quite perky, did Preston, but we were quick to nullify much of what they were throwing at us. I mean, they had a couple of early chances, but as the game grew on, we started to grow into the game and get more comfortable and get a foothold in the game. But like you said, that first 20 minutes, half hour, it was very, very cagey, very uneventful.
Yeah, we're very scrappy. I mean, North End did have the chances, like you said, but they weren't really major goal threat, were they? I mean, there were
No.
only one, maybe two moments where we had to do some clearances, and Ainsley Purrs got tested with that vital clearance as well, and George Pratt made a block as well, and obviously Sean McLaughlin had his block where he got hit with a minor concussion, which stopped play for a little brief moment.
Yeah.
But then, as the game went on, we grew into it. We found our rhythm. We got more comfortable. We were dominating possession. We were pressing. And then obviously we were trying for goals. I mean, Owashi was an absolute menace running down the pitch. And then you got Ryan Albiosu, who was basically bossing Thierry Small, on that wide flank.
A good
Not
battle
only
that were.
with it was a good battle. I think he asserted his dominance over Thierry Small on that flank as well. Because I mean, there's been a lot of plaudits with Thierry Small as well, and I think Albiosu did a really good role in like nullifying him, in terms of defensively and like on the attack as well. I think
Yeah.
he did a really good job there. But obviously, like in the midfield, though, Tronstad was industrious as ever, weren't he, with his, rolling his sleeves up, taking command of that midfield. I thought he did really well throughout. But obviously into the break, we kept trying for more goals, and then we got our corner, didn't we? Which Ryan Hedges crossed the ball in. Lewis Miller got head to the ball and into the net, and he was just like he just lay down on the floor like in total shock, didn't he? Getting the ball into the net, and I've got to really commend Lewis Miller, because when you factor in that he's been playing 180 minutes for Australia on international duty during international break, he's been doing all these air miles as well. I think he came back on Thursday and then played next day. I mean, Ishmael gave him the option that you don't have to play. You can have your rest after all this travelling and whatnot and be on international duty. And he's like, no, stepping up. The team need me. I'm going to take one for the team and do what I can. And I think he said in an interview that he was shot, didn't he? His body was shot.
Oh,
And
it
it's
was
like,
shattered.
yeah,
And not surprising.
not surprised.
The fact he's had to do international duty with Australia and then fly back. I think he only got back, was it Thursday? So he only had Friday training session, but he was adamant
Yeah.
he was taking part in it and then played that night.
Yeah, what a trooper he is though. I mean, he's the sort of character we love on our team, innit? You
Yeah,
know, he's got that inner steel into the team, that resilience, the hard work, does the nitty gritty stuff, no nonsense. He has that I'll do what it takes to win mentality.
yeah,
You know, that's what many fans have took to really taken to Lewis Miller. You know, he's stepped up into being a centre back out of necessity due to Ian Carter not being able to stay fit and not having another centre back because Dom Iron's gone. You know, I've really got to applaud him with how he stepped up into that role. I mean, in defence, he's just been doing business as usual, hasn't he? Been really dogged, no nonsense, getting into them tackles, getting into them lunges, and using his size and physicality to
yeah.
make sure that the opposition don't bully him. And he bullies the opposition, goes, you're not going to get past me. If you do, I'm going to chase you down, sort of thing. And it was really great. But then, of course, after being 1-0 up, I mean, the players there was a real serious lapse of concentration. And it just
It
looked
was,
like,
it was almost lackadaisical. It was almost like they completely switched off, thinking they were going to go in at half time, a goal to the good.
yeah,
And then suddenly, because they switched off and just like automatically expected to be going at half time, Preston from the kickoff literally went straight down the other end.
oh, yeah. None of the players rallied up together to get ready for the ball
Yeah,
to be kicked. And then North End sees that opportunity. And then Alfie Devine got the equaliser. And I think Sean McLaughlin didn't really endear himself in that, trying to clear the ball out. And then it just went just over that line. And then it was 1-1 apiece.
yeah.
And you could sort of think, going, oh, God, this is the most Blackburn Rovers thing to happen. You know, get 1-0 up and then you know, they level up like within a minute. It's just like such a Blackburn Rovers thing. But then at the break, after, I thought, before like it was half time, you would have took 1-1, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Beforehand. But right, well, let's try for a point. At least try and get something from this game. But much to my surprise and delight, the second half, they're actually much better, weren't they, in the second half?
We
What did you think of
dominated
the
the whole
second half
second
display?
half. I'd say we were the better team for the last 15 minutes of the first half, despite them scoring the equaliser. And for second half, we dominated that second half. They barely got. I don't even think they got. Did they get a shot on target in second half? If they did, I don't remember
Uh,
it.
no, yeah, there was one shot on target. I think where Purge budges the ball out of play. It was from that
Fair enough.
corner.
I don't
That
remember
was
them
the
having
only
a shot
time
on
I did it.
target second half. Like I say, first
No.
half it was cagey for first 30 minutes. I felt we controlled this towards the end of the first half, and the second half they barely touched the ball in our half. I mean,
Yeah, there wasn't much end product from North End, was there? Like in the second half.
there were a few
I
moments where
think,
they broke through in the second half, but some brilliant
yeah,
tracking back from players to cover it. So,
yeah. I mean,
which is
as the game went, yeah, go on.
which is
What are you
where
saying?
I'd like to say I would probably say my man of match for me is Morishita. He was up and down that pitch like an absolute madman. He was involved in everything that was creative. He created things. I think it was his free kick that set up Johnson for the for the
Hmm.
for the second goal. It was him. It was him that was creating all the chances that we had, um, building up to before that as well. But not just that, he was tracking back well. He got back well. I think he made an important interception where they would have been through one on one with keeping. He made an important interception tracking back, and he also made an important block at one point and all. He was just all over the pitch, and he was brilliant. It was got to be, in my opinion, his best game in Rovers colours, which is hard to say because there were so many good performances on the pitch against Preston.
Yeah, there weren't many standout performances, but I mean, you got to give credit where it's due to Ryan Morishita. I personally think it was his best performance in a Rovers shirt.
Yeah,
Not just like what you said, pressing the ball, picking out them passes, finding them pockets of space, but he was actually willing to take on the opposition with his pressing as well. He
yeah,
weren't willing to just opt to taking passes against taller, more physical opposition, which North End definitely do have. I thought that was
yeah,
a really good bit of football from Morishita. And like what you said, that free kick that was an intelligent bit of football from his
It was.
taking of the free kick.
They've
When
worked on
Andrew
that in
Good
the
Johnson
training
ran,
ground. That was good.
yeah, they definitely worked that in training ground, haven't they? I mean, we have recently appointed a set piece coach with what's his name? Who Ishmael recently appointed, Danny Venture, who came,
Mhm.
at the start of this month. It looks like they've really been practicing set pieces, dead ball situations, and it looks like it's been paying off,
I can't remember
on
who it
the
was.
actual games.
I can't remember who it was, but one of them peeled off near the back where Johnson, because Johnson went running round the back of him, but one of them peeled off and brought two
Yeah,
defenders with him, which gave Johnson that space of running in, head balling.
yeah. Well, they didn't keep an eye on him, did they? The North End
No,
defense didn't keep an eye on Good Johnson, so Good Johnson did like read the game, timed his run, and came into the right place at the right time. He had that instinct is there for goals. He's playing
yeah,
clear to see from Andrew Good Johnson.
he is a good attacker of the ball and good finisher.
Yeah, and he was playing in clear to see that he's definitely a player that's got them instinct for goals, not
Yeah,
just like from open play, but also for crosses, long balls, set pieces. I think he's got the gift of the gab there. You know, if he's only proving to be half as good as dad, we've definitely got an asset in our hands there. I mean,
yeah.
he's got 4 goals in 5 appearances as well, so he's already proving to come up with the goods for Rovers. I mean, any time he scored for Rovers so far at the time of recording, Rovers have won the game, which is really good to see. But
But yeah, like I
there's a,
say, he's been a revelation because we've needed some goals, and it's a lot to put on Hash because yes, okay, he's a little terrier and we love him, but he isn't quite as clinical in front of goal. It's where he needs to improve, but he will give you everything and he will run that defence ragged. Whereas Good Johnson just knows where to be, knows where to be, and he can put the ball in the net. He's got an intelligence in
yeah,
front of goal.
yeah, he's a natural finisher as well. He's got that
Yeah.
goal instinct. Oh, Ashley
What
just
was-
needs to work on it more, doesn't he, with his finishing? But
Yeah,
everything else, when it comes to running at the opposition, his pace and his pressing, he was an absolute menace to the Preston defence
yeah.
throughout the game.
What
I
was
mean, he
nice
did
to see
try for goals.
what was nice to see, we hadn't scored. We had a stat before the game. We were one of the most teams for crosses into box and not getting anything from it. I think we were something like the highest for crosses into box, and yet we hadn't got any goals from crossing in the box, which is crazy to think when we had that stat as one of the most crosses into box and stuff like that. And yet, it was nice to see we finally scored 2 goals off set pieces.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's a nice way. It's nice to know that we can win games from different win
Yeah,
games in different ways of doing it. Instead of just
yeah,
doing it from set plays and clear cut chances with
yeah.
crosses into the box or just outside the box. That it's going to be really good, really handy for when we play teams that are more defensively minded, are more difficult to break down, and where they want to disrupt the flow of play against a team like us. Because what our strengths lie in that flow of play, don't we?
Yeah.
Direct, intense football with some purpose. But North End did try to rough us up and derail us, throughout the
Oh
game
yeah.
as well. I mean, there was
I've
plenty of dark arts from North End,
Oh, there
wasn't there?
was.
I
There's
mean,
a couple of
when
moments
we
that
were
we'll
in a
get
winning
onto
position.
shortly,
Hmm.
but because they happened later on in the game. But I mean, like I said, that Good Johnson goal came quite early in the second half. I thought Hedges had a brilliant game. I think he's not. He deserves more credit than he's been getting. He actually has been one of our better players this season, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
I'll be one of the first to hold my hands up and say I didn't see it coming because I never thought Hedges was going to be all that, and he has been one of our best players by far this season.
Yeah, he's had his fair share of critics, Ryan Edges, over his time at Rovers. But
Yeah,
like what you said, I thought Edges was superb.
yeah,
I think he was our man in the match. I think he spurred that team on, a leader on the pitch, and he was a big influence on the attacking final
see, I
third,
can't
when we
argue
go
with
on a
that.
counter attack. But you could also I think an honourable mention has got to go to Sondre Tronstad as well since coming back.
True.
I would say it's been Tronstad's best game for Rovers this season. I mean, I'll hold my hands up because I've been a little bit critical of Tronstad the odd times this season, but it's not entirely his fault on how things have been for him. I mean, losing his partner in crime, Lewis Travis, going to Derby.
Yeah.
He's not really had a settled mid. He's not really been settled in that position in midfield and having someone alongside him. I mean, he's had Taylor Garner-Hickman, which I think has been an all right midfield partner for him. But I think Christian Montgomery has proven to be just as effective as Garner-Hickman in being that midfield sidekick.
What's even
But
more exciting is we've got Baraji back as well now.
yeah, well, we can talk about his cameo appearance as well. What do you make of Misa Bradley when he came on, when Ishmael made the changes like quite late on into
I
the
think
game?
he looked all right. He looked willing to take the ball and distribute it forward. He looked creative. We didn't get to see too much of him, but he looked all right when he came on. In my opinion, he looked hungry to try and show what he can do. And there's been a lot of hype about him coming in, and obviously he's been injured since the start of the season, so we've not got to see him. But there was encouraging signs to see he only got, what was it, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it would have been about 15 minutes you were on,
Yeah, it
including
wasn't long,
stoppage
was
time.
it?
Yeah, no, weren't long at all. I mean, it gave us a glimpse of what he could offer for us as well.
Exactly.
And I thought, well, he's got like a good eye for a pass. Can pick out them passes, look out for them pockets of spaces. But I just thought he was a little bit too casual for my liking. I thought
Mm.
he looked like he'd be a bit too laid back to the point he could have been horizontal. I was like, you need to like up the tempo a bit more urgency. But if he gets up to speed and up to a bit of physicality, I think we could potentially have a good player in our hands. I mean, on first impressions alone, I think he looks like a promising player. But it all hinges on whether he stays fit and how he performs for us throughout the season now. I think he's got now until end of season for the club to
Yeah,
decide on whether or not they're going to get him on a permanent deal. Because he has been on our radar for some time, hasn't he?
yeah,
Apparently, we wanted him. Was it January we wanted him?
I think so.
Last
Yeah,
season, but we didn't get him. So, I mean, I'd like to see more of. I think there's more to come from Musa Bradji. Like all the other new signings, out of all new signings, there is more to come from some of them as well. And
yeah.
obviously, he nearly got it. There was a horrendous tackle, weren't there? I mean, we're going to talk about the ref now because that referee, was it Paul Tini, the referee, the game against North
It was
End?
shocking decision. Shocking
I
decision.
thought, I thought it was a little bit lenient, with the decisions that are being made. I mean, I know it's not really impacted the game as such, and it's not really relevant talking about because at the end of the day we won the game. But I mean, when what's his name? When Ben Whiteman did that challenge on Musa Bradji, I mean, there was
It was
definitely malicious
ridiculous.
intent on there. That was a ridiculous challenge, wasn't
It
it?
was never touching the
Oh, he
ball.
just
Baraji was taking it forward, and he knew Baraji was taking it forward, and he had one thing on his mind. It was stop the guy making the run forward, stop the guy getting up the pitch. There was no intent to win the ball there. He went with his foot high, and if it weren't for the fact Baraji saw the tackle coming, managed to get his feet rather than being planted on the floor, get his feet somehow just off the ground as it hit him. So it wasn't as bad an impact. So it would have been a leg breaker
mm,
and possibly an end of season injury. Had that been full connection with his feet planted on the floor, he was very lucky that Baraji saw that coming and was ready
yeah,
to
yeah. But
brace himself for it. Because if that this is the thing, why does it have to take a leg breaking injury to get a sending off?
yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's absolutely
There was no
ridiculous.
intent to play
There,
the
wa-
ball. He went in to hurt the guy.
there was malicious intent with that tackle, though. There's no two
Yeah.
ways about it.
Even after the game,
Yeah,
they had I think I'm trying to remember who they had now. They had
Tim Sherwood was
Tim
on,
Sherwood for
and I
us, and they had somebody for Preston.
can't remember his name, but I know you're on about. But I didn't watch the
And
analysis
even
from
he
them
said
two.
it was a stupid tackle to make. Even the guy
Mm,
for Preston said in the studio afterwards it was a stupid tackle to make, and he should have been sent off. I mean, if
mm.
the guy who's backing Preston in there is saying that after the game, it says a lot about you. You were lucky to walk away with a yellow card there, and I think the referee
Yeah,
did a really poor job. And that wasn't the only bad decision made on the pitch,
no,
which we'll come to shortly.
no, there wasn't. No, I think it should have been a red card. There was malicious intent with that challenge, and Ben HD, who's a well-known YouTuber who does his EFL content, he's a North End fan, and I watched his championship roundup, and he even admitted that it should have been a red card as
Yeah,
well. I mean, if it's an North End fan saying that, you know, fair play. I mean,
I
he
I
is a
had a
great
North End
content
fan in
creator.
my fantasy football group, and he even said he can't argue without being a red card.
No, 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 definitely not.
When
I mean,
the fans are
that
saying it
was
as well of their
yeah.
own club.
Fans of your own team are saying that, then fair enough. I mean,
Exactly.
they've took it quite well, to be fair, though. You know, with the greatest respect to North End fans, haven't they? They've accepted that they haven't played their best today as well.
Oh yeah,
And
fair play to the North End fans. They were
I know,
quite humble in
yeah,
defeat, to be fair.
yeah. Which same can't be said for a certain Lancashire team down in 65 when it comes to losing games against us. But no, the other decision as well, like when Tronstad got fouled, and then we were penalised and then North End got a free kick. But
I don't
Tronstad
understand
was
how
fuming, weren't? No,
I
I don't
don't
understand
understand
that at
how
all.
we could get a free kick for how they could get a free kick for our player getting fouled. But there you go.
Yeah, but Tronstad were fuming, weren't when Bradgie got took
Yeah.
down as well.
Oh, they were fuming about the Bradger
Proper
one,
weren't now and I
but it
fuming.
was
Yeah, proper
dangerous.
fuming about that.
He'd
It
just come
was
back from a
dangerous
major
because
injury, and it was a leg breaking tackle. That
yeah, absolutely dangerous tackle. And then there was the other one as well when Matt Gay come on. Well, we'll talk
this
about Gay
this
after
is the
that.
other
But
one.
yeah, where a North End defender had his hand on his face as well.
I pushed it.
I mean,
He put his hand in
he
his face. Okay, he
pushed
might have,
him.
I could understand it if they're both going for the ball and he's accidentally caught with his hand. But when you watch it back, he blatantly Matt Gate, the ball comes down, he hits it with one foot, could control it, then flicks it over the guy's head and his head. And no, fair enough. He might not have got there before the keeper. Probably wouldn't have got there before the keeper, but he'd done the player, and the player didn't like it. Hand in the face, and rather than just it, full on shoved his face.
How did the official not like flag up and tell referee about that
I
as
have no
well?
idea.
That's
That was
even
a blatant penalty,
more
and
mind boggling.
even the pundit in the studio who was for the Preston guy said that wasn't a penalty all day long. He couldn't even argue with it. They both said, everybody in the studio said it was a penalty. The only people who didn't see it as a penalty were the bloody officials. I don't understand how
Yeah.
that worked a pen, but there you go. That was
Mm.
probably the best bit of Maktar's play as well. He did a really good job of bringing that. It was a fantastic touch, the first one. Then the second touch, taken over the player's head, brilliant touch as well. Some brilliant skill there by him. And obviously, we won't know whether he would have got onto it. I don't think he would have. I think keeper would have got there anyway. But it's not the point. The player took him out to
No.
make sure that he weren't getting it. However, going apart from that, I did think Maktar didn't have the best of appearances when he came on. A couple of sloppy touches when it was being played up the pitch to try and run down the clock or try and get the ball up into their area. A couple of little sloppy touches and knock the ball out for a throw in and things like that. And then there was the moment where he got a free header, and all he had to do was just guide it on target, and it looked like he was trying to loop it. And because he tried to loop it, he hit it high and handsome over the bar. And I was a little
Yeah,
bit disappointed about that.
Yeah, I don't think he timed his jump, did he? When it comes heading the
No,
ball, or
no,
put the direction of where he was going to head the ball, because he
yeah,
jumped up, didn't he, like a defender, looping it out of play. From what I
yeah,
saw with Matt Gay, but when he came on, I was like, you don't never know what to expect from Matt Gay, do you?
you don't.
I mean, you could have some moments that will surprise and delight you, and then there's moments where you're ripping hers out and going, "Oh my
And it's
god,
always the case
how have
every
you just
game.
made such a mess up?" And it's like,
It's
but
always the case every
we
game
were
with him.
winning.
That's why we love it, because you
Yeah,
don't know what to expect.
no, but it's exciting. But it does keeps you on the edge of your seat, though, doesn't it? When he comes
Yeah,
on, Matt Gay.
yeah. Sometimes you get frustrated with him, and then there's times where you think, oh, hang on, this is brilliant. Like the time when
Yeah,
he fluffed the ball that got played through to him a couple of games back. He fluffed up the touch when he was through on goal, took it to the edge of the box, and then someone managed to take it around 2-3 players to get back through on goal and just put it wrong side of the post. And you look like you're still like, oh my god!
yeah.
He's just
That
one of
was
them
against
players
Leicester,
that does
wasn't
that.
it? That was against Leicester when we were 2-0 up, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
you're like,
against
two.
Leicester.
How can you just let that hold up play going past 2 or 3 players? I thought, if this goes in net, this would be an absolute blinder. This.
Oh, it would have been
Oh
one of the
no, it just
golden season for us.
Yeah, it would have been an absolute. The build up play, the goal would have been just goes out of play. I
But
was
this is
like,
the thing: is sometimes his
oh,
first touch is so poor that it's resorted to him having to do all that to get it back into the box. Whereas if his first touch had been great, he'd have been having a shot on target. And it was like that a couple of times in this game. But then he had that one moment where the penalty shout, where it was a phenomenal first touch, and then a second great touch to knock it over. Like I said, you just don't know what you're going to get.
No, you don't know what you're going to get. But I just think the same. I think I've seen enough what I need to see Gee. You know, I'm still on the opinion that he's probably going to go in January.
We'll see.
I have a
I mean, I
I
think we could
think
give him
I
till the
won't be
summer, but we'll
surprised.
see.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if he goes in January. But
Um,
we held out for a win and he ended 2-1. And
I think we need
I
to
think
give
it
one
was a
more good
very
shout out.
yeah.
George
Go on.
Pratt. What a debut.
Oh yes, we can't forget about him because he was thrown into the deep end, weren't he? I
I
mean,
played for Chorley 2 weeks ago, and then he's playing. How many leagues difference is it? 4 or 5 leagues difference.
it is a big jump though. Going playing at Chorley on week,
That's what I mean.
that time and
What a
going
jump
over
up
to
and what
Deepdale.
a performance.
I mean, he rolled his sleeves up and just got stuck in and
Yeah,
got on with it with his clearances and his blockages. He kept it simple, and I don't think you could ask for a better dream debut from him. You know,
I completely agree.
make
He
your
looked,
debut for the youth for the academy into the first team against your
he looked
local
like he'd been
rivals
playing
and
for
coming
a
away
while
with
the
a
way he
win.
played.
Yeah, thought I did really well. And it was good to see that you like McLaughlin and Hedges looking out for him as well.
Yeah,
Help keep
absolutely.
that defence, helping that defensive shape as well. But they all played as a team. And I mean, as debuts go, I couldn't have asked much for more than that from George
I
Pratt.
couldn't have asked for any more than that.
I mean, what a dream debut that was. Absolutely fantastic. I thought it did remind me of I had vibes of Ryan Nelson and Grant Hanley in terms of how he conducts himself on pitch
Yeah, no,
as
I get
well.
that.
I thought,
One of my favorite all-time defenders is Ryan Nelson.
oh yeah, Ryan Nelson, what a trooper he was. I mean, the size and presence. Once he's 22, isn't he? So he's still
Yeah,
growing. Once he grows and develops into the centre back for us,
22 is
he
a
could be
very
a real
young age for
presence.
a centre back.
Yeah, he could be a right presence on pitch as well.
Hmm.
And I think with seeing that, if he plays like that week in, week out, I think
Yeah,
that puts less strain on us.
yeah, absolutely.
Waiting for Scott Wharton to come back and Hayden Carter. But there's no getting away from the fact that we do need an experienced centre back in
I
January
won't
once
disagree with
we're in the
that.
Warbans.
I won't disagree with that. But yeah, that pretty
But
much sums up everything about the game, and it was a good
yeah,
result and a good performance. I thought.
yeah, great performance and a well-deserved victory at Deepdale. I mean, leaving Deepdale with 3 points of the form they've been on is no mean feat. And the support was really great as well.
Over
Away end sold
5,000
out. Over 5,000 Rovers fans as well, making short
away.
trips as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've won 5 away games out of 7 this season. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a phenomenal start as well.
and
And
we won
we finished.
four out of the last 5 games as well, which is pretty good going as well.
Yeah, that is really good going. And we finished 16th, didn't we, on Friday night? But obviously the results, we were
Puts
down
us
to
back down to
18th.
18th, is
Teams
it?
around us
Yeah,
getting results. Yeah, and obviously Sheffield United won in the Steel City derby, but
yeah.
that made us 6 points from the bottom three, and now we're 6 points from top six. It's so tight in
Not
the
complaining about
championship
that.
as well.
Yeah,
Mm. I mean, the next game we've got now is QPR at home. We need the main goal for us now, really, is to carry that
home
momentum
form.
from the away games into home games, and we need to start picking up points at home because we've only won one and drawn one at home.
I
And if our
fancy us
home
to
form is as
complete
good as
QPR.
yeah, it's a long trip for QPR, and we'll talk
And
about
they've
hundreds
not
of
been having the
fans, aren't
best
they,
of
coming up?
not been having the best of runs themselves recently. I fancy us against QPR.
No, but they did beat Hull City though over that
They did.
weekend.
They did.
But they are currently they're only one place above us, aren't they? Well, they're
Yeah.
15th. I looked at the table actually. Sorry, they won
But they're
2,
only,
lost 3,
but they're
and
only a
drawn
point.
1.
But they're only a point or 2 point above us, though. They're not far above us.
Yeah, there really isn't much between them, and
No,
the factoring that their away form they're not good at all, and that
no.
we've not been good at home. So
So
that'll be interesting. It all pans out.
been an interesting game. I
So
fancy us.
yeah, I think there'll be confidence brought into the game. I think after the last games, I've been a little bit sceptical in a way because we've been on the back end of a good win away from home. It's not been carried over at home. Take the game against Norwich. We're on back end of
Yeah,
that 3-0 win against Hull. Then we lost 2-0 at home. Then we got that win against Bristol City away from home. Then we lost to Derby. I don't want that to become a pattern.
no.
So
But
I'm a bit concerned about that.
we did end the not winning at home thing against Southampton. So,
Yeah, we did. To be fair, yeah, that's a fair point. So
and I thought we
I don't.
deserved that
I
game
think
as well. I thought we were the better team in that game against Southampton. So,
yeah, they didn't turn up at all, did they? Southampton. I mean, Balish Tove did do some important saves. But speaking of Tove, I mean, he's absent as well. You
yeah,
know, and no North End fans will point out if they happen to be watching us, they'll tell us that they're missing some key players due to injury. But we were as well, weren't we? You know, Todd
absolutely.
Cantwell injured, Scott Lawton, Hayden
Scott
Carter,
Ward.
Balish Tove. And with the players that have been playing in their places, I mean, we need to speak Ainsley Pears actually, because I think he needs to get, credit where it's due.
Yeah,
I think he's been more alert, been more on high alert this time round, in Toff's absence.
he's playing for his place back in it.
Yeah, and I think, well, this is my place now. I need to grab it with both hands, and this is my place to lose now. I mean, I need to try and cement this place now, and this creates some healthy competition.
Which we
For
can't complain about.
Ishmael as well when he comes back, which again we can't really complain about. And it's like when Catmull comes back, if Morris Sheeter grows and continues to perform like he did against North End, and you've got Axel Emerson who continues to grow into his role as well,
It
there is
doesn't
a bit
make
of healthy
yeah,
competition there.
doesn't make it easy for Campbell to come back in that side if they're playing as well as they are.
No,
So,
no.
which now
It's,
that we've got covered
it's,
both them, I have got a couple of entertaining questions to throw your way. One of which is involving Campbell, but we'll come on to that one second. First of all, and these are just questions that have been talked about in my group chat with my friends. Hayden Carter, with the fact he's constantly getting injured all the time, would it be a good move to maybe move him on and reap some reward for the funds and utilise that to rebuild in our defence while we can
yeah, I
still
can
get some
see where
money
you're
for
coming
him?
from on there, but we need to get another experienced championship defender in.
Maybe
That
so.
was what we need to do. But one who's going to take Aiden Carter, pay money for him, and how much are we likely to recoup for him? But
Mm,
and obviously
true.
selling him on's one thing, but we need to get that replacement in, don't we? As well, straight away. We don't want to be doing
Yeah,
what we did with Dom Hyam, sell him and not replace him. But we do need a more reliable, experienced centre back, which makes a strong case for us maybe selling him on as well. But he is a good defender. It's just so frustrating that he can't stay fit. And
yeah.
since that big injury he got against West Brom last season, he's never really been the same.
No,
I
and
mean,
he
he's
keeps
come
getting little
back.
niggles.
He's keeping up knock after knock after knock. He's
Yeah,
due to come back, picks up another knock. He's proven to be a liability when it comes to injuries. And that's a big concern for us right now, given our squad depth as well. So, I mean, that is an option worth considering,
and then this
100%.
one,
What's
what?
your thought? Yeah, comes to mind. But what's your thought on Aiden Carter with him? As you've asked the
Personally,
questions,
I
though.
think because of the injury issues and all that lot, and I think you've got Lewis Miller who's made that spot his own now. I know you think he's more suited to the right back, but I think he's made that right centre back position his own, and he's been phenomenal there. I don't think he's put much of a foot wrong since he's been playing there. So I think you've got him, McLaughlin, and Wharton as your main back three, and then you've got players like this Pratt who can step in now and again. I do think we could do with another centre back to replace Carter, which I think we will get. But I don't see any issue in moving Carter on and bringing somebody else in that might be able to give competition to the other players at back.
Hmm. I think with how Lewis Miller's been performing as that right centre back in a back three,
Yeah,
it works. But I think we need another centre back. Say if we need to play in a back four, I don't think Lewis Miller's quite as good in a back four because
fair enough.
it's too restricted for him. He thrives better having a bit of that roaming space and that freedom.
Yeah,
But and obviously, if we did get another centre back and played there instead of Miller, that enables a bit more rotation for like Alabiosu between Alabiosu and Miller as well.
Yep.
So it swings around about. So there are arguments for that. So
But
that's
then,
my stance on it as well.
but then I've got a more pressing one, which is probably going to create a bit of tension with some of the fans that listen to this podcast. However,
I'm intrigued.
hear me out on this one before you get upset and slam it down. Todd Cantwell, right?
What about Cantwell?
His contract ends in 2027. Yeah, he's our highest earner at over, I think it's £35,000 a week. So he's earning a lot of money, and he's been brilliant for us. Yeah, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player, one of our best players by far. However, come the end of this season, if Morris Sheeter and Henriksen are playing as well as they keep showing up to be doing so, especially Morris Sheeter, he's been phenomenal for us the last couple of games. If they can improve and keep getting better as the season goes on, they're going to keep Cantwell out of the team anyway. Would it be a good idea maybe in the summer if Cantwell's not looking to re-sign, cashing in? We could maybe get 5 million or so for him, which I think would be a reasonable price to get for him. We take off that £35,000 off the books and look at investing and bringing in a couple more talented young players again. Build a squad. You could use that money. You could get a couple of defenders, another midfielder, and a right winger with the money that you'd get for Cantwell.
I would say no now and into the near future. My reason on this: Cantwell's quality, his experience, his influence on the team. I think we've got too much to lose there by getting rid of him. But I can see sort of where this is coming from. It largely depends on where we finish at the end of the season, how we're doing throughout the season, how these players are growing and adapting to the championship. But no matter how good or how quickly Morishita and Henriksen grow into their respective roles at the club, we do need championship experience. And that is worth its weight in gold where Cantwell's concerned and the quality that he has and the influence he is on the players on and off the pitch. Because he has been our skipper as well. That's also another thing to factor in. But it also depends on where Cantwell wants to be as well. That's another
Yeah.
factor. And I think he's come here to build himself up. But if he wants to play at a higher level, I mean, that's his prerogative. I can understand that. We'll sell him on. But I think it's important if he wants to stay on, let's try and tie him down to a new deal at the end of the summer, at the end of the season, where I'm concerned, or even in January at the earliest opportunity. Depends how we do. But I don't think we should sell on Cantwell in the summer, personally. I think he's too much of an asset for us.
No, fair enough.
And given how much championship experience we've lost, I don't think we should, personally.
I
What's your
can't
view on
argue
it?
with the quality. I can't argue with the quality. However, I do feel that we could get cashing in as soon as at the earliest opportunity will get us the most money, which we can reinvest into the team. And it gets a very high earner off the books. And looking at the way our club and our structure is at the moment, we ain't got the money to be buying players that are on high wages and spending silly money on players. We need to be proactive with the young or the cheap, talented players that we've been bringing in, like we have been doing, and they've been getting some shrewd business done in the last year and a half, I'd say, and it's started to come to fruition now, I think. But I get what you're
It
saying,
is.
where the experience matters. I get what you're saying there.
It is. It's really important because we have lost a fair bit of championship experience.
Yeah,
And if, like, hypothetically speaking, you say Cantwell sold on for a sizable sum of money, we need to reinvest into the squad. That's a player
yep,
training model that we need. We definitely need that because that's where we've really gone wrong over the years. Make a good sum of money, take Adam Wharton and Sam Smolik, for example, not be
yep.
reinvested into the squad. And that has been a major source of frustration for the fan base, without a shadow of a doubt. And we need some experienced players in. I think we need to bring a few experienced heads into the squad in respective
No, fair
areas at
enough.
pitch, whereas defence, midfield, and up higher in the attack. We do need one, maybe two experienced players, on the books, through the door and onto the books. And as I mentioned last week, like Tronstad's going to be going. Adam Forshaw's going to be going. I don't think Adam Forshaw's going, but I think the likelihood is very high that Forshaw's going at the end of the season. And we don't know what's going to happen with Ryan Hedges' contract as well, as his contract ends in the summer. And he's already been triggered that 12-month option as well. So, you know, it all remains to be seen there. But they do need to invest into some experienced players in January and into the summer.
No, fair enough. I think that's pretty much covered everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, that sums everything up. So before we go, what were your thoughts on the game against Preston North End? We happy with our performance? Who was your star player throughout the game? Let us know in the comment section. And then, obviously, what's your predictions of the game against Queen's Park Rangers as we come back to Ewood Park during this week? And then, obviously, do you reckon Hayden Carter should be sold on or kept on? Let us know. And then, last but not least, the conversation that we had about Todd Cantwell and his future at Rovers. So let us know in the comment section. So that rounds up everything on Totally Rovers. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time with Totally Rovers. So see you later, everyone.
See you, everybody. Thank you very much.